Biden files to run again in 2024, or does he? That's the question. But I really would love him to run again in 2024. I would love to see him and Trump go head to head again, and Trump will annihilate him on his record alone. You could just compare the two presidencies, and the majority of Americans cannot cannot deny that Trump policies are 1,000% better than old Joe Biden's policies. But before we get started, go ahead, hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. There's a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my Twitter where I'm very active. News that I don't that I find later, or things that's interesting that I don't post on my YouTube or Patreon. You can find it there. All right, let's talk about this news. It's official, maybe. Old Joe Biden has thrown his aviator sunglasses into the ring for the 2024 presidential election. The Independent reported Tuesday that, quote, President Joe Biden has filed paperwork with the Federal Election Commission to establish himself as a candidate for re-election in 2024. A statement of organization submitted to the FEC on Tuesday registered Biden for president as the principal campaign committee for candidates Joseph R. Biden Jr. and Kamala Harris. As with so very many things coming out of the Biden White House, however, this filing is shrouded in confusion and not nearly as straightforward as the Independent suggests. Business Insider Deputy Editor Dave Laventhal said, quote, this is a change in paperwork designating a new treasurer for a presidential campaign committee that already exists. It alone doesn't indicate anything about whether Biden will or will not run in 2024. But Paskey Witakoswara, the White House bureau chief for VOA News, was definite, quote, it's official, President Biden is running again in 2024. I hope so. I don't know though. I mean it's a bit confusing, like I stated earlier, but Twitter is roughly evenly divided between those who are saying that Biden has made it official that he's running in 2024, and those who insist that all he did was change the personnel list in his paperwork. As is so often with the Biden camp, we get botched messaging and mixed signals. You know, you never really know. The larger picture, however, is not all it's not all unclear. If old Joe is at least semi-coherent, for example, in about the condition he is now, and Arbor, he will run and he'll be running again in 2024. I'm sure. But few people seem excited about the prospect of dumpster fire too. Old Joe fails again, and that's understandable. The only way the Democrats are going to be able to sell old Joe again is by saying, if you keep hitting yourself on the head with the mallet because it feels so good when you stop. Just imagine how good it will feel if you stop after 8 years instead of just 4. It's crazy, right? Now, I mean, I just don't understand the people that's still supporting Biden after all his crazy policies that majority of people disagree with. How can you still be caping for this dude? I don't get it. It just shows me how dumb or how misinformed most Americans really are. But a whopping 64% of Democrats would prefer anyone else, please anyone but old Joe, to be the party's nominee in 2024. But the party of Jefferson Davis is in a bind. Joseph Stalin and Mao Zedong aren't available. Kamala Harris is a cackling mess. And who else is there? Gavin Newsom, who seems to think "Let me ruin America the way I've ruined California" is a winning slogan. Supermodel Stacey Abrams, like who do they really have to run? For real, be honest. Who they really have? Given the thickness of the Democrats' bench, it's not surprising that old Joe who would turn 82 just weeks after Election Day in 2024, thinks he has a shot at re-election. After all, the FBI is solidly in his corner, and they deliver for him once. Why can't they do it again? Still, with the job approval rating that makes Jimmy Carter looks like Franklin Delano Roosevelt, it's easy to see why Democrat leaders aren't greeting the prospects of Biden, still more malarkey in 2024, with enthusiasm. Even if the FBI does its level best, close elections are the easiest ones to manipulate, and Biden would end up on the short end of the historic blowout in 2024, uh, one that is beyond the reach of even the most resourceful Fed to salvage for the big guy. I mean, look at Hillary Clinton in 2016. It was really a bloodbath. It was really it was really a shellacking that President Trump did to Hillary Clinton. But because of all the manipulation, I'm not going to get into it because you know how they do it when we talk about this stuff. But because of the manipulation, it seemed more closer than what it really is. That may be the reason for the ambiguity of today's announcement, or what it is. Biden's handlers may be treating his sort of filing to run again in 2024 as a kind of trial balloon, hoping to gauge what kind of reaction it gets and maneuver accordingly. But if anyone was hoping for an outpouring of genuine enthusiasm from anyone beyond Rob Reiner over the prospect of another Biden basement summer campaign, they're certain to be bitterly disappointed. No one was ever really excited about the prospect of Biden presidency. He was just in the right place at the right time and took a nomination that the other Democrat heavyweights didn't want against a president whose reelection prospect looked formidable until the stupid 19 hysteria kicked in. Biden is, after all, the quintessential Washington insider, selling the same snake oil he has sold for 50 years now, and even lengthening record of lies and failures to show for it. But he has one thing going for him. He appears to be willing to be led by whoever is pulling his strings. And as he indicated yet again a few days ago when he said, quote, "I took control. I shouldn't do that. I'm not allowed to do that." Why do you keep making these statements? Other Democrat hopefuls may not be so sanguine about being puppets for the people who are really in charge. We know about that, the deep state. It is they who may decide to sign Joe on for another 4 years, and I think that's what they really want to do. They really want to push Biden because they know they can control him. They know he'll do whatever they tell him to do. But let me know what you think about all this. Do you think he's really running in 2024? You leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out DemarcRepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.